Hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. Sandra and I are getting ready to make a major investment in the farm. We're getting ready to purchase some pretty significant equipment to help us with one of our enterprises here. So we got a big day coming up, early morning, late night. Come along with us, let's show you what we're getting, and let's take a little road trip. Just needs a can. Well, we're off on another adventure.
Yes, we are.
So, in a previous life, well, before we got into farming, we were deal hunters. I mean, we were kind of pickers. We would find things and go buy them, and then we would either keep them for ourselves or flip them to make make a few dollars. So we used to do that a lot. We used to do that a lot, and so we would always say, "Off on another adventure," when we were going to get something. This is a big one, though.
Yeah, this one's kind of big.
Yeah. So it's Lee, Florida.
Lee, Florida.
And it's about 8.5, 9 hours.
8.5 hours from here.
And so we're getting started kind of early. And the plan is, we're going to go down there, pick it up, and come home in the same day.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm tired already.
It's all right. It's going to be a good day. We're going to have a good trip. All right, first rest stop. We've been on the road, what, about 3 hours?
A little over.
Been on the road a little over 3 hours. We're somewhere in South Carolina between I-77 and I-26 going down toward, or excuse me, I-77 and I-95 going towards Charleston. What did you call this road?
It's awful.
We're on I-26. It's awful. It's rougher than Cobb. I ain't never seen it. But anyway, making good time.
Here we go.
It works great.
Yep.
Attention.
On the God Almighty handle.
Yeah. Oh my God Almighty handle. All right, we got loaded up. I did not film at these folks' farm. I always feel a little odd asking people if I can video them if they don't know we've got a YouTube channel. But anyway, so here's what we got. We got us a scalder and a plucker, and then we got a rotary kill station, and then an evisceration table. While we were there, the guy said, "Hey, I've got these pig drinkers. Would you be interested in them?" And I said, "Sure. What do you want?" And he said, "I'll let you have them." So I got 2 Brower pig drinkers. I think they need a couple of parts. They need a lid. They need some rubber stoppers and that kind of thing. But I think overall we got a pretty good deal on this stuff, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. The scalder, the belt on it looks like it's brand new, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, and these folks said that they had done, I think they'd done around 400 chickens. And we ended up pretty significant savings on this. Yeah, it's used equipment. We'll get it home, test everything. May need a little part, may need a little piece. Definitely gonna need a little cleaning. May need to clean the mud daubers out, but this is exactly what we were looking for. I think this is gonna really increase our efficiency. So we're in, where are we at in Florida? Lee, Florida?
We're in Lee, Florida.
Lee, Florida. So let's get home. How long it takes you down here? 8.5, 8 hours?
8 hours and 15 minutes.
8 hours and 15 minutes to get here. So we got a long road ahead of us. So I don't know why it's going slow. Diesel tank's running slow. So, all right, we're gonna get home. We'll get all this unloaded, and we'll show y'all what all we got when we get it off the truck. You got it?
To it already. Good.
I got the tub.
Ready when y'all are.
Yep, let's go. Oh, we scratched the tailgate of my truck. All right, set her down, set her down.
Hurry, set it down,
That's why.
They can match the rest of them.
Yeah, that's why you buy farm trucks and you don't. That's why you buy farm trucks. You don't go buy these pretty trucks if you want a farm.
No.
How in the world did y'all get this on?
It was up in a 53-foot trailer.
All right. You got it, Sandra?
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we just got back last night about, what time was it we got back?
10:30.
About 10:30. We drove from McGrady, North Carolina to Lee, Florida and back in a day. And it was a little over 1,100?
Yeah.
Was it a little over 1,100 miles. We struck out yesterday morning about 4:15, drove down to Lee, Florida, met with the farmer that was selling this equipment, loaded it up, spent about an hour talking with them, and then drove back. I think we stopped how many times going down?
Twice.
We stopped twice going down to go to the bathroom, went to the farm, met up with the farmer, loaded the stuff up, fueled up, drove back into Georgia, got just across the line in Georgia, stopped and got something to eat, and then we drove straight home from there. We had something, put a splash of fuel in the truck just to get home.
Just to get us
But-
home.
So the reason that we've got this stuff is there's a couple reasons. First off, we applied for a grant through
North Carolina Ag Ventures.
North Carolina Ag Ventures back during the winter, and this was the project that we were taking on, was to buy some new processing equipment. And you priced all that out. So talk about what all you priced and what we were going to do and what happened.
So the grant was for up to $8,000, and the farm has to contribute at least 15% of that. So I went on to the Poultryman, the Bird Nerd website, and priced out their biggest equipment, the turkey pluckers, the turkey scalder, everything as large as I could get it, plus the rotary kill cone stand, and it was all going to run about $12,500. Then we got the news that we were approved for the grant, and they approved us for $4,000. So I went back to the website and looked again and picked out the entry-level commercial equipment that they offer, and it's a combo. It's the 27-inch plucker and the 30-inch scalder, plus the rotary kill stand that we were going to get, and all that was going to run just a fuzz under $10,000. Well, I was scrolling through Facebook a couple of days ago, and these nice folks down in Florida had exactly what I had spec'd out in the entry-level equipment for quite a bit less.
And so the reason that you went back and repriced it was because we only got part of what we asked for on the grant. We'd
Yeah.
asked for $8,000.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
$4,000 grant.
sorry.
Oh, anyway,
I'll shut up now.
we've been able to pick up this equipment exactly what we asked for on the grant, second round. We were approved for it. I talked to the lady the day before we went to get this stuff.
To buy used.
To buy used.
To buy used.
Told her that we had found it and that it was from another farm and everything was good to go. And she said that was good. And so we're going to save from my initial quote about $5,000.
Yeah. And all it cost us was a day's worth of time, 2 tanks of fuel, and
About $300.
yeah, about
in
$300.
fuel and food.
Yeah, fuel and food. It was, yeah, so we're saving. I mean, this is a huge savings. And the reason that we're doing this is this equipment that we've got now, the Featherman stuff. I don't know if we've ever told the story on this, but when we first got started in farming, we were going all in on chickens, and that first batch, we had no clue what we were doing. We didn't know how to process or didn't have any equipment to process with. So we had contracted with another farmer who was processing birds for other farms. We contracted with him to do our birds, and he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
But man,
and I helped him.
yeah.
He didn't do it by himself, and I helped him.
But man, he was slow.
Yes.
He was terrible slow. So funny story. After he processed our birds, he called us up and said, "Hey, would y'all like to buy this equipment?" So that's how we ended up with the equipment that we've got, this Featherman plucker and scalder, and we've showed it on videos in the past. But it's a good prosumer kind of, it's not the the least expensive entry level stuff that you would buy on Amazon. What's the name of that stuff? Yardbird.
Right Farms.
Right Farms,
Yep.
Yardbird. Whatever. There's a couple of different brands out there, but so it's better than that. But what we've bought now is a step up. This is the good stuff. And whenever you're kind of doing things the way we're doing it, you've got to have good tools. You don't go down to the local dealership where the guys are working on your cars and they're going down to Harbor Freight. Usually going down to Harbor Freight and buying their tools. They're buying stuff off the high price Snap-on guy. And so this is kind of the equivalent of that. We've upgraded from Craftsman to Snap-on in the world of poultry processing. So let's go over and look at this stuff. We'll show you exactly what we've bought, what we've got. We'll talk about the differences in it, what we've used in the past, and we'll just show you what we're using. All right, so first let me show you what we've been using, just kind of as a comparison and contrast to what we're going to start using. So this was our dispatch station, and this is a frame. Did you build this?
I did.
Actually, Sandra built this, and then JW came along, and we've got this piece of metal and put it on there. And we just hang our cones on here and dispatch the birds, and then all the blood runs down into this trough and then out into a bucket over there. So this is what we've been using for our kill station up until now. All right, so we bought this for JW, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yep. So this is 6 cones in a disc that spins, and this spins around. And so the way this deal works is you drop a bird down in here, you can reach through, dispatch the bird, spin around, do another one, and you can dispatch 6 birds at a time. And while those birds are being dispatched, you've got this shroud over here that eliminates a lot of the mess and the flinging of blood around that we've got. And it funnels it into there's a hole down here, put a bucket under it, and you've got an easy way to catch all the blood whenever you're doing the dispatch of the birds. So the nice thing, you can stand in one place, load, cut, and you don't have 4 lined up across a board. So and you can do 6. So I think this is going to be a lot more efficient.
Yep.
And so this is the scalder that we've been using. This is just, it's a metal tank with a set of shackles on here. We clip the birds onto the shackles, and then we'd have to manually dunk them and hold them underwater and count for 45 seconds or whatever. This works great. We can only do 4 birds at a time, but this takes somebody standing here actually running that shackle and holding those birds under the water. So worked fine, but it required an individual to do.
So this is a automatic scalder. It's got a timer with it, and when you turn it on, the paddle starts flipping. You put the birds on one side and it rotisseries the chickens in the hot water. It's got a timer on it, so you can set it for how long you want it to scald, and then it will come to rest with the chickens out of the water. It does all this on its own. All you have to do is flip the switch.
And so this takes an individual out, because whoever's doing the dispatch can just toss the birds over into the scalder, flip the switch, and then walk away. It does it itself. You don't have to stand there and dunk and hold them underwater and count. Now, one problem that we did run into, this is used equipment. We got home and the timer that controls the rotisserie wasn't working. I took it apart, the switch was broken, so we've ordered a new timer switch to go in. That should be here next week. We're going to start processing some birds next week. So easy fix. I think it was a $60 part. We ordered it from Grainger. So we're going to get that fixed, and we'll have the scalder up and running.
And then this is the plucker that we got. It's labeled on the website as a 27-inch plucker, but this one over here is labeled as 28, but the tub in this one is much bigger. You can tell the big difference.
Yeah, and we can probably do, how many birds in that thing at a time?
You could probably do 5 or 6.
We could do 5 or 6, and the other one, max, we could do 4 in there.
4.
If they were kind of small. If it got kind of big, you'd have to trim it back to 3. But easily we can do 6 birds in here. We probably could do 2 small turkeys.
Yeah.
Probably could do 2 small turkeys. Nice thing about this, hit that switch right there, Sandra. Flip that thing on. Got a switch on the side. You can put a foot switch on this, and I'm thinking about doing that. But nice and deep. I mean, this is going to be a game changer here in terms of being able to pluck the chickens. Now, the thing that I don't like about this, don't like it at all, on this plucker, the feathers just fall out all around the tub. It's open down to the bottom along the edges. So the feathers just fall out. There's no way to catch them. On our old plucker over here, it's got a chute in the back. Let's get around here to see it. It has a chute right there. So what we would do is just put a bucket under there, tilted up on its side. It would catch all the feathers as the feathers were coming out. Then we'd just toss them over in the bucket on the tractor. This doesn't have that. That's really the only problem that I've got with this, is the feathers are just going to go everywhere. You say that there's a shroud or something you can get for
you can purchase a shroud to go in it to make a chute. And that's another one of the really nice things about this equipment is you can add on to this stuff. You can buy the basic, or you can buy the Cadillac version, where it catches the feathers. It has wheels on it. It's got a foot switch. The scalder, you can order a float valve that goes with it. So when it gets down to a certain level of water, it'll automatically add water to it. So there's a lot of advantages to this equipment that we just didn't have before.
And this stuff is sold, and this is not sponsored, not sponsored at all. But this stuff is manufactured by, I think this is still the case, Poultryman, and it's sold on a website called Bird Nerd. I can zoom in here. Sold on a website called Bird Nerd. I'll leave a link in the description down below. It's not an affiliate link. There's no coupon code. There's nothing. I mean, this is just stuff that we bought because in research and looking at different brands and stuff, this is kind of this is the sort of the snap-on version of chicken processing equipment. So,
and I have used this type of equipment before, so Chuck doesn't understand it yet, but once we get started and he sees how much more efficient it's going to be, he's going to like it.
Because Chuck just doesn't understand.
He doesn't understand it.
So there it is. Like I said, we've got some birds we're going to start processing next week. I think this is going to be really going to help us in our efficiency in terms of being able to get stuff done quick, being able to get it done clean, and you know.
Well, and that's what helped the grant board to give us this grant was we based it on efficiency.
Yeah.
And number of people and amount of money that we're going to have to spend in paying people to process. Because this equipment is going to take out one, possibly two people in the line that can go to evisceration instead of standing around babysitting a scalder and a plucker.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and before y'all ask, the answer is no. I am not going to be selling my old equipment. And there's a couple of reasons why I'm not going to sell the old equipment. Number one, we may rent it out. You know, there's some folks around here that are just kind of getting started in chickens that sometimes need equipment. You know, David and Tracy, our friends over here across the road, they borrowed this last year. We didn't charge them anything for it.
No.
Yeah. So we want to keep this around to help folks out, friends and family, and other folks that are trying to get into this kind of business. And then another thing, we've learned this: if you ever have a piece of equipment go down, you're dead in the water, ain't you?
Yeah, boy.
We had our old scalder over here. One time, this is a couple of years ago, the connector where the hose connects to the gas tank to fire, that piece right there.
It has a little bitty plastic collar.
Yep.
Down below that piece of brass is what it had in it. And that collar broke. And man, that was it. We didn't know what was wrong with it. We didn't know how to fix it. We had 6 people there helping us process chickens. We had got through about half of them when this happened. Because we were changing tanks. That's what happened. We were changing gas tanks. And that piece broke out of it. And it took us the rest of the evening to figure out what the problem was. So we had to take the chickens back out on pasture, let them back out, feed them, water them, and come back, figure out what was wrong with this. And we ended up having to replace this whole piece.
But that stopped us.
Yeah.
I mean, we were done.
It stopped everything. We had some ladies
there
there helping us from Charlotte, North Carolina.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And they ended up having to go home early.
Yeah. So, you know, I guess that's another lesson in this whole deal is if you're processing birds, especially if you've got like a big batch, you know, if you're doing 20 or 30, you can go back to manual and get by with it. But if you're doing 150 or 200 birds and you're depending on your equipment and something lays down, man, you're just done. So we're going to keep it around as a backup for a just in case. So before anybody asks, no, I'm not going to sell my old equipment. I'm going to keep it. So there it is. So another piece that came with the set that we bought is this. This is an evisceration table. Really nice. It's got the bar around the side to keep a slippery bird from making an untimely escape. And then it's also got a hole here. Put a bucket down there so you can just drop your offal and your intestines down through that hole whenever you're eviscerating your bird. This would work, gosh, you could get 4 people around this. You get 2 on each side, so you get 4 people around this. So this may end up replacing one of our other evisceration tables that is kind of homemade. All right, there's that poultry processing equipment. And like we say, we think it's going to help us be immensely more efficient on processing day to be able to get birds worked through and maybe even eliminate a person. Not that we want to eliminate people working, but just eliminate a person that's going to have to be here on processing day. Chickens are easy until it comes processing time. That's really where your investment in labor comes in, is on processing day, because that's a big day. It's a hard day. There's just a lot of work. And I know we've invested a pretty significant amount of money in this, and actually got a text from a friend of mine yesterday who's also a farmer. He said, man, this sure is a cash-hungry business. And I responded back and said, yeah, it sure is. We joke about it, but there's a river of money flows through this place, and it don't stop. It comes in one side and it goes right back out the other, just about as quick as it comes in. But at the same time, You've got to be making, if you want to grow and you want to really make a go of this, you've got to be ready and willing to make some capital investment in your farm in some things. But you got to be smart about it. You know, you don't go out and buy a brand new, you know, $50,000 tractor whenever you need $10,000 worth of chicken processing equipment. You got to be smart and strategic about that. But it does take some capital to make this thing go. It takes some money to invest in the business, to grow the business and roll that money over to really make a go of it. So anyway, I guess I'm kind of rambling. Like I always say, please keep us in your prayers. May God bless you and your families. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks. Getting the shot. Getting the shot here. Is that good? You guys both kind of centered.
Yeah.
You need to come this way just a little bit.
Oh, good Lord.
Come this way just a little bit. Yeah. Don't be an ass.
Come on now. Spielberg.
Spielberg.
What? What are you Lord mercy about?
Just you.
I didn't do nothing.
The aggravation that's you.
Howdy, friends and neighbors.
Let's take it serious now.